Let's talk about an invisible threat. It's something that's affecting millions of us living in the hot, humid climates of Southeast Asia, a threat to our health, our homes, and even our wealth. It's time we unmasked the saturation trap. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me ask you something. It's a really simple question, but I'm willing to bet you've asked yourself this 1,000 times. Why, even when you get enough sleep, do you feel so constantly drained, foggy, and just a bit off? You see, that afternoon energy crash, the stuffy nose you wake up with, that feeling like your brain is wrapped in a wet towel, that cough that just never seems to go away, these aren't just random separate problems. They're all clues. They're pieces of a single shared mystery that connects all of us living here. So, why haven't we put the pieces together? Well, it's because of a phenomenon called saturation blindness. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We've become so used to the culprit, it's become so normal, that we've just stopped seeing it as a threat. It's a danger that's literally hiding in plain sight.
You know that old paradox, right? What does a fish know of the water in which it swims all its life? And the answer is absolutely nothing. Well, we're the fish, and the constantly high humidity we live in every single day, that's our water. It's so constant, so ever-present, we never even think to question what it's actually doing to us.
So let's do that now. Let's look at the direct physical impact, because even if we're blind to it, our bodies are not. Our bodies are fighting a battle against this environment every single second of every day. Think about this for a second. Have you ever come back from a trip somewhere drier? Remember that exact moment you step out of the air-conditioned airport back into the open air? That physical wall of heavy, wet, hot air that just hits you. That feeling is very, very real. And there's actual physics behind that hit. In dry air, your body cools itself very efficiently. Sweat evaporates, and you cool down. Simple. But in our air, which is already saturated with water, your sweat has nowhere to go. It can't evaporate. So your body's internal cooling system basically stalls out. This puts your body under constant, low-grade biological stress, and that is the real source of that chronic, deep tiredness we all feel.
And this invisible stressor, it's not just affecting you. It's acting like a slow-motion poison that targets every single member of your family, but in very different and very specific ways. Let's break down how.
For the kids, this often shows up as the condo cough. They aren't just breathing air in their bedrooms, they're inhaling a biological soup of mold spores and dust mite allergens that absolutely thrive in damp conditions. This is what's really behind that persistent night cough that no medicine ever seems to touch.
For women, it's often a two-pronged attack. First, the constant high humidity damages the skin's natural protective barrier, which leads to flare-ups and makes skincare products feel less effective. And second, it triggers something called tropical lethargy. And yes, that's a real term for that bone-deep tiredness that comes from your body being in a constant losing battle to cool down.
For men, it's the wet hat brain fog. When your body can't shed heat efficiently, your brain's executive function, the part that controls focus and decision-making, literally slows down. This is where that irritability comes from, that lack of focus, and that general feeling of being physically and mentally weighed down.
And what about our parents and grandparents? That joint pain they feel right before it rains? It's not just an old wives' tale. High humidity actually causes the soft tissues in their joints to expand, leading to inflammation and real pain. They aren't predicting the weather, their bodies are physically reacting to it.
And of course, we can't forget our pets. They live their entire lives down on the floor, where humidity and mold spores are most concentrated, and they have no way to escape. It's no wonder that chronic skin conditions and those awful yeasty ear infections are so common for pets across the region. So it's pretty clear our health is under attack. But the damage goes even deeper. The saturation trap is also targeting your single biggest financial investment, your home. This is the wallet hit.
Let's just start with a cold, hard number. 15 to 20%. That is the potential drop in a property's resale value if it has a history of mold and humidity issues. This isn't just about comfort anymore, it's a direct threat to your financial well-being.
You know that faint, musty, earthy smell you sometimes notice in older homes? We tell ourselves it's just the smell of age. It's not. That is the literal scent of wealth decay. To a potential buyer, that smell screams hidden problems and future repair bills, turning your biggest asset into a toxic one.
And the really scary part is, the damage is happening from the inside out. Moisture is seeping into your concrete walls, rusting the steel supports. Fungus is growing in your wardrobe, destroying expensive leather goods. And something called silicon rot, a kind of micro-corrosion, is silently killing your high-end electronics. Your home is literally eating itself. Now, you might be thinking, hang on,
Hasn't it always been humid here? And you're right, it has. But the problem has become so much worse, and the reason is the very way we live our modern lives.
We've basically created a seal and saturate cycle. First, we seal our homes airtight to make our air conditioning more efficient. We seal the box. Then, we fill that sealed box with moisture from showering, from cooking, even just from breathing. A family of 4 can exhale liters of water vapor into the air every day. And in that sealed box, all that moisture has nowhere to go. It's a trap. Now, after hearing all of this, the situation might seem pretty bleak, but it's not. The key is to shift our mindset from just passively accepting the problem to actively engineering a solution. We absolutely can escape the trap. And the real solution isn't just buying a small dehumidifier and sticking it in a corner. That's a band-aid on a bullet wound. It requires a multidisciplinary shield. We need to think about our body's internal chemistry, the structural engineering of our homes and how they breathe, and the environmental science of the air inside them. It's about creating a true sanctuary.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to really consider. Take a good, honest look around you. Is the space you live in, the space you're raising your family in, truly a healthy sanctuary? Or have you unknowingly fallen victim to the saturation trap?